Well, hello there. No, this isn't the show at all. What this is a call to action. A call to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, by the way, please, if you can, head over to Apple, Spotify, Podcast Addict, or wherever you are listening to this awesome show. Click on that 5-star rating. Tell everyone in your orbit about it. Do whatever you have to do to make them listen and continue to listen to the show. All within reason, of course. Together, we can grow this show into something amazing. Thank you all for what you do out there. Now back to the fun. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Manual Font Show. I am indeed Manual Fonts. Thank you all for downloads, listening, reviews. Appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. And I also have an announcement of sorts. And it's a commission-based sponsorship that I got approved for. It is with a drink. I do beverages, right? So why not? It's Aspire energy drinks. It's a clean energy deal there. 80 milligrams of caffeine. You got your strawberry watermelons, your mixed berries, your seltzer. So how did I come across this? My brother, who I run the Random Thoughts with him, he pointed me toward this website and he said, hey, they contract with Shopify, commission-based sponsorships. Just apply, see what you got, right? So I applied and, filled out all the paperwork and stuff. And they within a day or so, they sent me an approval. So it's basically commission-based. The more I sell, the more I make. The more you drink, the more, So in the next coming episodes, you're gonna hear me do some ad reads, and I'm gonna do it until the contract runs out, essentially. So look for that to happen within the next few episodes. So I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping here. So last episode I talked about wanting to give the next 200 episode plan, right? And of course I didn't get to it. But if you listen to that episode, that's kind of the direction we're going to go. So I'm getting really tired of listening to the famous / moderately famous YouTubers and podcasters and anybody in this quote-unquote new media space talking about how the industry has changed, even though it's all by their own, as I said, it's their own creation. They drag their audiences with them. They went ahead and they turned this into a revenue stream, and they blew this up into something that is bigger than what I feel was the intention of normal everyday people who are just getting together to have their conversations and have their family here. They're them messing around and stuff, but they've turned it into something that is now bigger than what they thought, and more people are now jumping onto it, especially since COVID, because there's opportunity. It's the gold rush, if you will, of the newer media, and I just want to just lose my shit now. It's like the last episode is they're talking about how we're not supposed to be able to afford the equipment. Not everybody should have a microphone, and the industry is bloated, and there's too many people here and not enough people there, and blah blah blah. And I just want to sit here now and just point it out that these guys are just as good, or if not, horrendous when it comes to the independent guy, which is what I am, which is what my brother is. And there's a lot of other podcasters out there that are doing the YouTube stuff as well. I don't have a massive social media presence because I don't care that much. I don't care to waste my time doom scrolling on X or doom scrolling on Facebook or the reels on threads or whatever the hell it is. I got other shit to do. You know, I got a family. I got kids to raise. I got ball games to go to with the kids. I got shit to do. You know, and I do have a window where I get to do this as a you know, initially as a hobby, as a palate cleanser of me complaining about the news of the day or the politics of the day. But now I'm going to focus my ire entirely in this direction for 200 episodes because there is a plethora of shit out there, and I am just I can't I I have to let this I have to get this out, or I'm just going to go insane. Also, you might have a little bit more research on some things in between to kind of give you better background on these things because I've I have to cross the T's and dot the I's if I'm going to do this the right way. But for these first two episodes, it's just going to be initial irritating explosions and whatever. So this one we're going to cover today is called the King's Beat Podcast. It is a local YouTube streamer thing, and they somehow, and I know how they got on Blue Wire. I really do, and it ain't got nothing to do with their talent. It's got more or less to do with their connections, I believe. Um, and it's hosted by James Ham. There's Sean Cunningham, Brandon Nunes. Now, I'm I haven't heard this one. It's going to be about as reactionary as it gets. But in the past, I have listened to them um basically dump dump on their audience, belittle them for their intelligence, if you will. I've seen a couple of these videos where James Ham would roll his eyes because he doesn't like what he's hearing, or there's like little things like that. And this one is probably going to be no different. But I'm going to go through this. It's an hour and 32 minutes, so we're not going to do all of it, but we're going to go through some of it. And I wanna just do what I did in the last episode. Just get through this and just unload on it. So one thing that they like to talk about is the equipment, right? They like to talk about how it's such a taxing thing to do. I'm looking at this screen right now, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now that they've got maybe $300 worth of equipment on camera. I'm looking at the arms. The boom arms look to be maybe $100 a piece. There's $200 right there. The mics have got to be no more than 50, $60. They look like they got that USB feature. At least Sean Cunningham does. But James Ham's got his little ESPN 1320 banner because that's a station that hires him and pays him to be the quote unquote King's insider. And of course, he's got his local merch in the back there, the King's Beat deal there. So this is the setup. Their backgrounds are pretty much their house. Brendan Nunez looks like he's in a college dorm. So the setting is about as ridiculous as it gets. When I look at this initially, and I wonder in my head, like, can't you guys fucking make this look a little bit more professional than it is? At least attempt to get better cameras. For one, they're all using their base webcams, which is just pixelated dog shit. Maybe they should invest a couple of bucks, because I mean these guys aren't exactly. I mean, Sean Cunningham works for one of the TV stations in the sports room. James Ham works for a radio station, and he's also independently writing for the Sacramento, covering the Sacramento Kings. And Brendan look, Brendan, I can give a little to leeway to, because it looks like he's just starting out. And they've kind of taken to him a little bit to show him the ropes type shit. But I really am boggled by this. Like, can't you guys just spend a couple of bucks and make this shit look better? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. This is and maybe this would production wise would look a little different. It was just shocking, honestly, considering that 2 out of the 3 in this fucking frame are work for a TV company or radio company. You would think that they would invest to make this thing look a little bit better than it does. So anyway, that's just me. Um, like I said, I'm probably going to make this a video podcast. I'm going to have to, especially for this, because it's a little hard to describe in an audio form, but not the actual sound though. All right, let's get into this.
Welcome to the King's Beat podcast. I'm James Ham, Kings Insider for ESPN 1320 and the King's Beat. We're, of course, a Blue Wire podcast. Joining me today, KCRA3, Sean Cunningham. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing great. I like that little wind up that you had there. You extended my name. It's only 4 letters.
Sean
My name should be 4-letter name.
Cunningham.
Yeah.
There we go.
But, yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks to had a great time at Aftershock. A lot of people watching. Thanks to James's plug being able to make that happen.
My friends at Odyssey. Yep.
Yeah, and I ran into a lot of King's Beat listeners. How about that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect to, but
right out of the gate, I have questions. We haven't even gotten to the third guy yet, but I already have questions. Why are the okay? For one, the intro is retarded. I'm sorry, it just is. The guy he's not exactly equipped to be a fucking boxing ring announcer. He just doesn't have what it takes to sit there and do that. And he doesn't really put much effort into it, and it just sounds ridiculous. Secondly, this whole thing where they they got somewhat of a sponsorship to go to Aftershock because these guys don't exactly have a couple of bucks to scrounge together to buy a fucking 3-day ticket for they don't have a couple $100 for this. That they got to sit there and they got to go to some like Odyssey. He said he went to his friends at Odyssey, so he had to go run his ass over to Odyssey to get tickets to this shit because Sean don't got no cash to fucking do anything. Like this part right here drives me nuts. Just in general, when it comes to overall, podcast, TV, whatever, like these guys, it's like, have some dignity, have some fucking self-respect. Like, why are you picking up the phone to go to a fucking concert that you know damn well you can afford? And then, of course, I know what the other argument is. Well, if we can get someone else to pay for it, why don't we just go for free? It's like, why don't you just fucking get a set of balls, dude, and just go and buy your own goddamn ticket like everybody else? Why you got to sit there and fucking mooch off of other companies? And if I'm getting paid to push a product, that's different. That's not what this is. This is, hey, Odyssey, do you have tickets? Please? Like, what the fuck? You fucking lazy prick. And then, of course, in the corner there, Brendan's over there fucking with his microphone because we can't get this problem solved before the show starts. He's over there playing with the fucking wires and shit. That get your shit together before you turn on the fucking camera. Get your shit together before you even press record, before you even live stream. Make sure all your ducks are in a row. That's what you should be doing. That's what a professional should be doing. That's not what we have here. We have the third stooge at the bottom playing with his fucking microphone. Handle it before the damn shit starts. Let's go.
But we did.
But they all came up and said hello?
Yeah, I've had several people say hello. Took a picture with a couple of people. One of them who knows our friend, Tasteful Nudes. One of them who knows our mutual. I'm not going to call him a friend. He's more of an acquaintance. Jeremiah Salmonson.
Jeremiah catching
golf guy.
strays.
Big
Always
golf
catching
guy.
strays.
Yeah.
Big golf guy.
So yeah,
Can't
yeah,
catch
it
a
was
foul ball, but big golf guy.
Blink. I got to report back because Blink 182 was sensational. I hadn't seen them since I don't remember if it was like 2000 or 2001. It was a long time ago. They had opened for like No Doubt, and that was a really
No one gives a shit, dude. This is a sports podcast. We are here to hear sports. We are here to hear you talk about basketball. We're not here to get your fucking update about the goddamn concert that you didn't even pay to go to. Unbelievable. We're not even a minute and 30 seconds in, and Brendan's done playing with his microphone. I guess his top came off, his windscreen or whatever that is that he was fucking with. This whole thing's gonna annoy me. We might only do 10 minutes. My God.
fun show. It was a warm show. It was a hot show. But they're at their peak of their powers. So I really had a great time. And Brendan should have been there. Could have gone there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Do you say they're currently at their peak of their powers?
I think so. But you know what? I just realized that James didn't welcome in Brendan because I rambled too much.
Because
so.
you just
James,
yeah.
can you welcome in our
Why welcome in? He's already there. He's on screen. I don't understand this. Why are you volleying this ball back to James? Just you introduce him. You've already fucked up. You might as well keep going. Why are we stopping the not? There's no flow here as it is. But why are we stopping the show to kick it back to James to listen to him introduce Brendan, whom you've already introduced? That makes no goddamn sense.
Brendan, wherever the hell he works.
Yeah, we are, of course, joined by Brendan Nunes on the King's Pulse podcast. Brendan, how are you?
Yeah. Hello. I am doing well. Nothing special to report over here. Well,
Nope, never is.
Nope. Yeah, great work at the King's Pulse podcast, and that's what I spend all my time doing. So, yeah,
King's
here.
Pulse podcasting.
Yes,
And
sir.
Can we talk about this, Brendan, real quickly? Because I still just don't understand why you zigged when you should have zagged to go see Blink 182.
Because Blink 182 sucks, probably. That's my guess. Like, who cares, Sean? Who gives a shit? We're here to talk about the Kings basketball. How are they doing? That's the show. I get the early banter stuff, but it should not be going on for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of you trying to figure out why you went by yourself to a concert. Maybe because Brendan don't give a fuck about Blink 182. In my opinion, that band is garbage anyway, but what are we doing? Get to it. Fucking get to it. This is a sports podcast. None of you should be talking about music right now. None of you. Especially when your knowledge is limited. Like, you're not, just don't do it. But you're doing it. But obviously you're doing it. But you shouldn't do it. But here we go.
I can't name you 3 songs right now, Sean, and that's really the premise of all of this.
There you go. He doesn't know anything about it, nor does he care. Moving on. But we're probably going to beat this horse to death.
That's as deep as
Oh.
it goes, I'm sure as some played, I would recognize them, right? But my concert enjoyment is more about being there and screaming my head off, singing along.
Do you have to sing along? You want to sing along and ruin everyone's videos? Okay.
100%. 100%. That's why I never post my own videos, because I listen to them back and I'm like, man, I should have shut up.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So what did you do instead?
I recorded a podcast and hung out and played video games, Sean. It's day in the life. I had a great time.
Wow.
I did sit there
Perfectly
at
good
lunch
Saturday.
with Sean and probably changed my mind about 6 times throughout the course of 30 minutes on whether or not
James,
I was going to go.
It was really an adventure in watching someone really go through a terrible, like a tough decision in their day. Like he 1 minute he was in, the next minute he was like out and pulling his hair out. Like, I don't know what you were doing. Like, he did this like 3 or 4 different times.
I'm never gonna get my life back now. Let's just get past this, because it appears to me like we're never gonna get to talk about sports. Let's see, 9 minutes.
This not a great basketball game that we sat and watched together last night.
All right, let's rewind this a little bit. Let's see about this part.
What do you all think of, what is like the appropriate amount of people to have on a group chat?
Oh no.
Oh God.
What the fuck? Okay, so 7 minutes, 7 minutes and 20 seconds of this shit. They're talking about, obviously you get your hellos, but then they're talking about this fucking concert that none of them paid money to go see that they went to. And then we're making fun of Brendan for not knowing anything about Blink 182. Who gives a shit? The host of the show, James Ham, has zero interest to get this fucking ball rolling. And now Sean Cunningham is over here talking about group chats. What is this? Seriously, what the fuck is this? And this is the shit that drives me nuts. Famous to moderately famous people on the internet doing all these shows and interviews and going all over the place with their fucking advice do shit like this. This shit. And it's shockingly annoying, because the very thing they tell you to not do, they fucking do at an alarmingly bad rate. Like, what? Okay, so the last episode I did, all right, Isabel Brown gave this passionate locker room speech, right? I was in, ready to run through a fucking wall. Let's do this. We are going to change the world and tell the truth and blah, blah, fucking blah, right? And right out of the gate, she goes straight into transgenderism and, and it's just like, okay, well, you're not doing shit that's any different than anybody else is doing, but you're going to tell me I can't have a fucking microphone. These guys belittle their audience in the chat all the time. And I don't know if we're going to get to it here, but they do. And they'll roll their eyes at the questions, and they'll be less interested in answering questions or engage in anything. But they will do this horse shit for 7 fucking minutes. They are going to sit here and bore my ass to death talking about the Aftershock Festival, group chats, and the host has zero interest in stopping this madness. Like, I'm sorry, we're here to discuss basketball and what is going on, what are the updates, whatever the fuck it is. But we're going to do this? It's obviously went on for almost 10 minutes. Now, I don't know if this is, I don't know if the host and the owner of this shit, James, I don't know if he doesn't mind that there's some banter and you humanize or whatever. And my thing is, to a certain extent, I agree. But if you're on episode 100 and something or whatever with these guys, the humanization and the personal and the personability and knowing their personalities already should be established. We should not be fucking going down these ridiculous rabbit holes and boring the audience. The very thing they tell you not to do is what they do. And it just drives me up a fucking wall. An absolute wall. Let's give it a few more minutes. Eventually they will talk about basketball. I noticed we fast forward and we hit the 9.5 minute mark and they went into it. So let's see.
My answer is 0. I am the biggest anti-group chat person of all time. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because
Oh, there you go. Brendan left. Brendan just got up and fucking walked out. What happened? This is a live stream. Why did you leave? You're on a show. You're on camera. You are live. This is going on. There is no reason to leave. You are on. The show is on. Do you think a rock band will sit there and play, right? And the guitar player would just fuck off and leave the stage, and he'll come back eventually? The fans would lose their shit. What the fuck happened to the rhythm? What are we doing? Brendan just left. Why? The fuck is this?
Wear an Apple Watch. And an Apple Watch, every time you get a text, buzzes. So when you're on a group chat with, I don't even know how many people, and who decided to add my phone number to a group chat, I don't know. A bunch of people I don't know are in this group chat. Now a bunch of people have my phone number but my wrist has been buzzing all afternoon long.
Yeah, well,
So,
okay, you could
Jake
mute
Aiden
it.
Jake Aiden
We don't
and I
have to
a birthday
explain.
1 day apart. No, I'm going to. What do you mean we don't have to?
Okay.
You started this.
I'm just saying, it was just a simple question. How about now?
Jake
Can you hear it
Aiden
now?
and I have. Yeah, we.
Yeah, I hear him.
Jake
Hey,
Aiden and I have
you know
a
what?
birthday 1 day apart, and we are trying.
Sean just moved his microphone to the window so we can hear the lawnmower. That's what that fucking buzzing beep was. Are you serious right now? Wow. Okay. 8 minutes and 15 seconds in. If I was watching this live stream, like actually watching it as it happened, I would have shut it off like 5 minutes ago. This is some dumb bullshit going on. And we have yet to get to the meat of anything. Okay, so Brendan got up and left and came back with a fucking lighter, and it looks like he's going to vape. Okay, like I said, you're on camera. You're on. This is a professional podcast live stream. You're on video. Why did you leave to get your cigarette or whatever the fuck it is you just got? Why is Sean grabbing his microphone, shoving it outside to hear a lawnmower? This is a fucking circus act. There is no question why these guys have 3,000 subscribers. This is a fucking struggle. Like, this has to be the most dedicated audience ever for this shit. Like, ever. Because this is fucking bananas. Like I said, man, this is probably going to be a video podcast. I'm going to have to really just hunker down and just actually get to it, because this shit needs to be seen, like visually seen. Like, this is, wow, unbelievable. Okay, I'm going to give this thing about 2 more minutes. If they don't get to any fucking real content by the 10-minute mark, I don't know what else to do. I can't watch even 20 minutes of this without fucking throwing my shoe at the TV. Let's go.
To plan something this weekend. So Jake sent out a big group chat, and Sean.
Oh, also, James, this group chat thing, I don't want to be in it because my fucking hand buzzes. Well, who gives a fuck, dude? Mute it. Just fucking mute it. Like, it doesn't take that long.
I happened to be in the parking lot with Sean when we got this text. He was very unhappy that this happened. Renamed it to unnecessary group chat, and yeah.
I wasn't unhappy. It was more of like, oh, really? We've got 25 people on a group chat. Like, that's far too many. Also, James, let me help you out. You can mute the group chat. You can go back and look at it at your leisure.
Well, yeah, but I'm a busy man. I don't have time to go in and mute group chats when they pop up. Like,
you're a busy man doing what? Think about this statement he just made. Think about the fucking gall of that statement. I hate people who say that shit. I'm a busy man. I don't have time for this shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, according to your fucking bio on your YouTube channel, twice a week, you're bi-weekly, so twice a month you do this live stream. That's two things you do for about 90 minutes. Okay, you're raising kids, family thing you've said, okay. You write, what, 4-paragraph articles And then what? You have your little radio deal for an hour? What are you doing? That you can't fucking sit there, stop for 20 seconds, maybe 30, pull out your fucking little Apple Watch and mute a group chat. It's 3 buttons at best. How busy do you have to be to the point where you can't get to that thing buzzing on your wrist? I fucking hate people that say that shit. It is absolutely infuriating. I'm too busy. You're such a fucking cunt. That's what I'm getting out of that. And if you're trying to be funny on this live stream by saying that, it ain't help. No, not at all. All right.
Anyway, I threw
I had
one
to ask
barb
because
in the group chat and then I ducked out. Yeah.
Okay.
California citron. Is this how we citrus?
Oh, he got a fucking lighter for the candle. I thought he was a smoker. Okay. You left for that? What is this shit? Okay.
Citron. Yeah.
Citron. See, I knew that. That's the candle scent going on today.
All right. Well, let's dive into this this not a great basketball game that we sat and watched together last night. The Sacramento Kings lost to the Toronto Raptors 130 to 122 to open their preseason schedule. It wasn't that close. To be honest with you, the second, third teamers came in and I thought did a wonderful job of making the game look competitive at the end. I thought they played.
Oh my gosh. 9 minutes and 10 seconds. We hit basketball. 9 minutes and 10 seconds of me suffering through this shit, this meandering nonsense. And now we're going to get into it. Okay. Now that we've started, I have to see where their expertise actually lies. This is a sports podcast. And to be fair, the game in question I actually did watch. So let's see. Let's compare notes.
Extremely well. We got to see great minutes out of Reynaud, and Dylan Cardwell played really well, and Nick Clifford ends up with 9 assists, and they looked really good. But the guys who started the game, the guys who came in and played with the second unit, did not look good at all. And I thought the fan reaction was pretty crazy for the first preseason game. And I don't want to make excuses for this team at all, but I would say this. When you haven't played a preseason game and you go into a game where the team that you're playing has played a preseason game already, sometimes they look slightly more prepared because they've actually gone up against a real opponent, not themselves.
This is where the rest of this is just going to be me responding to how stupid these three might actually be. He says, I'm not going to make any fucking excuses, but I will say, insert excuse here. This doesn't matter what fucking sport this is. Basketball, football, baseball, it doesn't matter. If you have been on the roster of a team for X amount of years, you should not be having the problems that this team is having. Okay? Two of these guys have been on this team. Well, no, three guys have been on this roster for at least 3 years. They have played together. There's about 4 or 5 other guys that have been on this roster for at least 2 years. So it's safe to say 6 guys have played together for 2 years. This is year 3 with these 6 guys, right? You should not be having the mistakes that you're having. The defensive lapses, missed passes, missing open shots or open shooters in general. This should not be a thing, right? I should be able to do a basic pass and you should be able to catch it in stride. Or I should know where you're going to be on the court and how you like to receive the ball, right? Some stuff like that. But that comment to me is is an excuse in and of itself, where it's like you haven't played together against real competition. The other team has, and therefore it's not out of the realm of possibility that you would play poorly because you haven't faced competition. That's all horseshit. If you have been on the roster for 2 years or more as a group, you should not be having the struggles that you're having. There should not be, even if they change the concepts, you should not be having the lapses that you're having on defense, missing screens on offense, uh, wide open shooters, poor free throw shooting. This should not rebounding should not be an issue. If you're learning a defensive concept or an offensive concept, like in installing a new system, that part, like running a play incorrectly or running a defensive formation incorrectly, I can get on board with. But the basic fundamentals of whatever sport you're playing, if you've played with the same group for at least 2 years, these mistakes should not be happening. There should not be turnovers at the rate that it was in the first half. That to me is that to me just erases anything James has said there. I don't agree with what he said. It's bullshit, and it's just a bailout. It's just a straight bailout, and I just don't agree with that at all. Let's see what Sean says.
And so it's oftentimes that you see teams that have had a preseason game under their belt play a team that hasn't, and the team that hasn't had a preseason game looks like ass. And to be honest, that was not a good performance by the Sacramento Kings. And let's just kind of start there. What were your guys' like biggest initial like uh-oh moment from that game?
Probably with 94 feet defensively, picking up full court being the main emphasis. It felt like going in throughout all of training camp coming into the year, it didn't feel like it was happening that often for how much Doug was saying that is going to be the identity of this team. In postgame, Doug said the starting group specifically did it 30% of the possessions, and their goal is more 85%. I actually thought Zach LaVine looked pretty solid defensively early on in the game, at least like good effort from him in that aspect, forcing
I don't know what the hell Brendan was watching in that game, honestly. We're only going to stick to the starters here. I watched that game. Dennis Schroeder picked him up at 94 feet almost every single time. What is he? I don't know what he watched. I really don't. So it kind of makes me wonder about their expertise, honestly, because I saw that game with my own fucking eyeballs. Dennis Schroeder was picking him up 94 feet. Now that he got blown by a few times, there was a couple of screens that got set that weren't called out where he got stuck, and the guy dribbling the ball got past him, but they had a guy pick up at the inbound, and then they had a guy at half court, which for the life of me missed his assignment almost every single time. So this idea that he said he felt like it never happened or he never saw it makes me wonder if he has a pair of eyeballs that work, because the concept was actually implemented. You can see them attempting it. The fuck's this guy talking about?
some steals, getting in lanes and things like that. But for the most part, that physicality, the make them feel us that Doug is emphasizing in one of their three defensive staples, I just didn't really feel like was there very much from the jump. After some free throws, you would see Dennis be able to get into that a little bit more, and some of the other guys. There were moments for sure, but to me, it just felt like that was maybe going to be one of the biggest differences coming into this year, this full court defense. And it just wasn't very much on display, I would say. And in the moments it was, if you're picking up 94 feet, that kind of leaves the opportunity for you to get blown by at 85 feet. And then now you have a whole long way to recover. And I think we saw some of that going on. So working through the kinks of the 94 feet and also just doing it more consistently.
I liked the way Dennis Schroeder, at least, in talking about the picking up 94 feet, he kept Emmanuel quickly away from the basketball a lot, and kept the ball out of his hands. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I thought Dennis Schroeder didn't play a very good basketball game, but he wasn't the only one out there. But in terms of the picking up 94 feet, it's not going to be a collective group that's doing that, but he's going to be the guy that will be doing that more times than not. And I felt his presence shifting towards Emmanuel quickly kept the ball out of his hands quite often. And I thought,
all right, I'm done with this shit. These guys, they're okay. First off, James Ham is yawning during this whole thing. It's almost like he's either too tired or he doesn't give a flying fuck what's going on. My thing with the all right. Let me just get a little bit more into this, if you will. My overall assessment, because I think I should probably do that as opposed to what I did last episode, which is kind of try to end it on a little, you don't deserve a mic either. Here's my assessment of the Kings beat. It's ass. It's absolute ass. They have a lot of things that they should probably work on, button up, things like that. For one, production value is ass. They really should probably get a couple of cameras that work. They should probably get some lighting that works. I think Sean should probably be in a spot where he's not picking up the fucking lawnmower, or maybe close his noise gate down a little bit. I've learned that over the years. Something, because that was garbage. Some of the stuff, like, they really should probably cut, which would be the first 8.5 minutes, where they are trying to establish a relationship with the audience. Obviously, that's what the attempt is. But again, if you're hundreds of episodes in at this point, this should not be an issue. This shit should not even happen. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes of hello, what have you been up to? But to do a full almost 10 minutes of talking about things that ain't got nothing to do with basketball, like, or sports in general, if you are a sports podcast, like, I don't really care if you went to the damn concert, number one. And then number two, when you openly admit you didn't even pay for it, it's even more egregious. And then to sit there and talk about group chats, who cares? Everybody's got this problem. It's not interesting. It's not unique. And that's one of the things that I focused on these guys in particular, because the one of those guys said that, excuse me. One of those guys has said in the past that they don't listen to other, people's stuff or whatever because it's not interesting, right? Okay. Well, I've listened, and none of that shit was interesting. None of that shit made any sense. None of that shit had anything to do with sports. And I think they should cut that shit out, especially, as I said, if you've been together for multiple episodes, they know who you are by now, especially if you've been working in the industry in the local area for as long as you have. There's no reason to be doing that. And if I'm a newcomer and I'm listening to this, I will turn you off after 2.5 minutes, because it's not what the show's about. You're not covering what it is that you're not. There's one of the other issues that I've noticed with these guys at the Kings Beat is they obviously don't write anything down or script anything as talking points or whatever. It's pretty clear. It's in the live stream. But what I don't like is what they do at the end, which is the final thoughts thing, where they give like 5, 6, 7, 8 final thoughts before they don't know how to end the show, put it that way. They got to figure out how to end the show. The production value needs to get better. They also need to have an understanding that if you're on camera being recorded, and I don't understand this because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that do this, they will get up and leave and go do some dumb shit and come back. And the audience is going, where'd he go? What the fuck? Brendan did that. He got up and left and came back with a match for a fucking candle. He probably should have had that already lit if he was going to sit there and use that during his show there. And the whole messing with the microphone shit, your system should be dialed in, ready to go. There shouldn't be any issues. You shouldn't be sitting there, fucking with the wire or fucking with the windscreen that shit should be handled essentially. So that's basically the episode. I mean, if I had to rate this thing, fucking 0. Anybody with a brain probably shouldn't even listen to that shit, honestly. But again, well, I'll take that back. If you really, really want to listen to it, knock yourself out. Do what you got to do. It's a free country. To each its own. If it was me personally, I would unsubscribe to that horse shit, and I would never go back. Anyway, guys, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for taking the time to hear this new direction, if you will. And I've also gotten out of news commentary, and I've gone with more of a society culture thing. That's the category I chose. I don't know if it matches up with what I'm doing, but it's not exactly like I'm doing news anymore. So we'll see where this train leads. Maybe the next episode will get a little bit more researchy, maybe. I don't know. I'll figure out how to do this. See you guys later.